Good evening, everyone. Peace and blessings to the family. It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Shout out to the Louisiana All American Sports Network. And shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. Southern University football, midnight hour power, Q&A session, plus the transfer portal closes. Uh, I just plan on taking y'all on a amazing ride on this session of the midnight hour of power. Let's see who we have in the building. My brother, motivation to be a millionaire. He says salute Coach 67, chat, HBCU family, and Jaguar Nation. Salute to your fam. He said, I think this recruiting class will be a good recruiting class for Southern. I agree 100%. Just based on everything I'm seeing, players that are committing, so on and so forth. I'm pleasantly pleased and pleasantly surprised with Coach Falk and his staff. I felt like they have done a great job thus far. They're doing a great job, and I commend them. And more than anything, we want to see them reap the fruits of their labor come the fall. When September, October, November hits, and if the law says the same, they'll play well in the December. But we'll see how things go. Motivation to be a millionaire put. Go Jags. Yes, sir. Salute to your family. Relaxing, calming rain. Salute Coach 67, chat, HBCU family, and Jaguar Nation. Salute to your relaxing, calming rain. Salute to your fam. He said it will be interesting to see how this class pans out. I think it's a very promising class from everything I'm seeing. And relaxing, calming rain. Put go Jags. Yes, sir. Salute to your boy JSU. Salute to you. He said, salute, coach, and go Jags. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, fam. He said, I don't want to say too much, but this might be the best SU class in the decade. I certainly hope so. I'm getting that feeling. He said, closing in on 30 commits with a Portland State all-conference lineman who committed today and a UL transfer who committed today with multiple players on the visit currently. Yeah, and we know the portal closed yesterday, but National Signing Day isn't actually until, if I'm not mistaken, I think February the 4th. So still a little gap in between two. Adrian Crook says she loves the salute to Adrian Crook. He said she loves crazy online, her new lie. We signed one FBS player and the cult brought that stupid everywhere but forward. LOL. He said, I'ma send her a toy. She needs some wood. Man, Adrian Crook. Time to be men 7465. Salute to your family. He said, what's up, coach? What's up, Jaguar Nation? Salute to you. Time to be men. Salute to your family. Johnny Johnson. He said, what's good, coach? Jags are solid, and we haven't seen everything yet. Go Jags. Yes, sir. Salute to Johnny Johnson, 7258. Salute to your fam. Nathaniel Frank say, what up, coach? Go Jag. Go Jaguar. Yes, sir. Salute to you, Nathaniel Frank. Salute to your family. My brother Jay Good in the building, you dig. He got the peace emoji, the salute emoji, and the Columbia blue in the yellow. Adrian Crook said, I'm just saying. Yeah, and of course, Southern University, they've been signing a lot of players, and I'm just pleasantly surprised and pleased with how everything's going. Your boy G, as you say, I love how Jackson State fans are watching our every move. Truly lets me know we're back. Yeah, but I want to see it. I definitely want to see it come September, October, November, December. I'm feeling it, your boy Jay, but I need to see it too, though, fam. You know what I'm saying? Man, salute to the family Blackwater Bayou. He said, salute, coach and chat. The H-Town Jaguar is in here. Man, salute to your family. Man, I met Blackwater Bayou at the P. Richardson Classic this past season. Of course, it didn't help that Southern didn't play all that great that night. Met him and his pops. His pops been going to Southern University games for over 60 years. And Jaguar Nation, we love that type of loyalty, that type of dedication. Salute to Blackwater Bayou and salute to Pops. Tell him I say what's up. But looking at some of Southern University commits, we've been looking at a bunch of them. But, just recently, I saw that, from what I heard, let me see, hold on, real quick. From what I heard, R.J. Johnson III, he was supposed to, either he was close to committing to Southern, or he was supposed to commit to Southern, but he ended up signing with Massachusetts. I wish him well. I mean, he did his thing when he came to AW. I wish him well, but man, I think he would have been a good addition. Derek Banks, 5730, salute to you. He said, good evening from Kansas City, Missouri. 14 degrees. Woo! Hey, I'm complaining. Derek Banks, I am complaining about the sudden shift in weather here. And as of right now, here in South Louisiana, it is 41 degrees where I'm currently located. 41 degrees. Supposed to rain in the next hour. And I'm complaining about how cool it is. And you got 14 degrees, and I'm complaining about 41 degrees. Yeah, I don't think I can make it in Kansas City. I'm not even gonna lie. Uh Andrew Cook said, Coach, any cult members pull up, kick them out, return the favor. Yes, indeed. Derek Banks said, can't wait to get home. Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, like I said, I'm complaining about the 41 degrees. Man, there's no way I would be able to handle 14 degrees. I'm not even gonna lie. Time to beat man say, I believe we are going to be blessed with this team. We get the offensive scheme down. He said, we add to the backfield. He said, man, we will be gangster. Oh, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it. Because I heard early this week, I'm like, somebody told me, they was like, Coach, a running back from Texas A&M is coming to Southern. And I'm like, who? Le'Veon Moss? It wasn't Le'Veon Moss, but I'm not going to lie. It would have been interesting if Le'Veon Moss came back to Baton Rouge, came back home. But, hey, I can't be mad at getting a running back from Texas A&M, though. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, but when they said Texas A&M running back, immediately I thought of former Struma High School running back Le'Veon Moss. I'm like, man, he coming to Southern? And then it was like, No, coach, not him, but it's definitely a good running back. So I'm about to talk about that in a minute. So just to speak to the addition at running back Southern University have, you know, they was able to get up running back from Texas A&M, and like I said, you know, initially as soon as I heard Texas A&M, that's the first thing I thought was, you know, Le'Veon Moss because you know he was playing at a Struma, you know, when I was at uh head coach at Capital Middle, and before I became the head coach at a Struma Middle, he he ended up leaving and going to Texas A&M, and I was able to watch him, a good little bit since he'd been in Texas A&M, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this is, you know, this would have been crazy to get him back, but oh no, I'm not gonna lie, time to be man. I've been able to watch some of his film, and I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, okay, so former Texas A&M running back Ronnie Crosby the third, he signed with Southern. Yeah, and I was able to watch some of his film. Uh, Time to be men said, check out his film. He liked that. Trust me. Oh no, 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 no. I'm not gonna lie. He a dog. I think the reason why I immediately thought about Le'Veon Moss was because the Baton Rouge connection and the fact that he went to the Dirty Eye. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jay said the O line is completely rebuilt. Donald Penn been doing his thing. Oh, I'm glad he's doing his thing. And time to be messy. Check out his film. He like that. Yeah, I've been able to see him. You know what I'm saying? I've been checking him out. Uh, Jay Good said SU has good backs, just needed to upgrade their O line. He said, and from what I'm seeing, that's being addressed. I see physical guys that can move. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. People. Some people are impressed with just like big linemen, but you got to have guys that's big, that's athletic, that's strong, that's physical, the whole nine. Johnny Johnson said he's a speedster coach. He and Holly will be back there at the same time as Fire. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it. And we leaving out Barry Remo. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Barry Remo, those last couple of games of the season, I'm not even gonna lie on Barry Remo. Barry Remo did his thing. He put in work against Texas Southern. I mean, he did all the heavy lifting against Texas Southern when Trey Holly wasn't available. And then I think in that game, in the Bayou Classic, I don't think Trey Holly was at 100%. And without Trey Holly being at 100%, even though he only got 7 carries, he still got 100 yards. So Remo, I mean, if Remo the low man on the totem pole, man. Nathaniel Frankie said, how will the QB room look next season, coach? Well, as of right now, they got a lot of young quarterbacks. They got a young quarterback, I think from Compton. They got another young quarterback from Kentucky. Of course, they got Ted Couillon from St. Aug. No, I'm sorry, yeah, from St. Aug. They got who else? I mean, they got a bunch of young quarterbacks. So they brought in a couple veteran guys in terms of for visits or whatever. Like I said, the FAMU quarterback they brought in. They brought in some experienced quarterbacks, but they hadn't been able to get any those quarterbacks to bite. So for pretty much from what I'm seeing, all the quarterbacks that they got are like incoming freshmen. But I'm almost certain at some point they are going to get a more experienced quarterback. But just from a talent standpoint, just from what I'm seeing, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather have a more talented true freshman than having a guy that's a junior or a senior just to have him on the roster. But I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer a more experienced quarterback. But we'll see. I'm almost certain Coach Falk and his staff gonna address those needs during the summer in the second wave of the portal. And he said, your boy JSU said they didn't even want to play Remo either. And that's the crazy thing about it. They didn't want to play him, but he did towards the end of the season. Your boy J, he did so much heavy lifting. Time to be man, he said Remo going to eat too. Oh, without question, he gonna eat. He gonna eat. I mean, that's the thing about it. I mean, uh, when like your boy Jay said, they didn't want to play Remo, but I mean, Remo did his thing against Texas Southern for senior afternoon, and then he did his thing in the Bayou Classic. So, yeah, I mean, based on the way this offense is run, I think they're gonna have enough room for everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think more than anything, you just need a dual threat quarterback that can really run and pass the ball and can make all these necessary reads in the go-go offense. Johnny Johnson said, I still think there is a QB that's not being talked about. I think so too. We talked about that in the previous live stream, and Crook talked about it too. After the whole Zion Chris situation, I think they're kind of moving in silence and they're trying to, keep some players hitting to keep some of the bigger schools from poaching them. Because, that's what they've been doing. Some of these bigger schools been snatching up some of these guys that, potentially coming to HBCUs. And it's not just Southern. It's Grambling. I think it's HBCUs in general. So they want to keep some of these guys hitting so some of those bigger schools don't get them. You know what I'm saying? Man, salute to my brother Jared 11 Green. He said, everyone hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Also, come to his channel tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Southern Baller Show. We're going to talk about the championship game in terms of Indiana. Monday night, Indiana going to take on Miami. That's going to be a big-time game, and we're going to talk about the NFL divisional playoffs. So be certain to come to his channel, check him out. Your boy Jay said we have 4 freshman quarterbacks coming in, but don't worry, a transfer quarterback is coming. I'm not gonna lie, the way Coach Falk and his staff has been moving, I wasn't worried at all, your boy JSU, because I really see the way they're moving. They're doing good things, Jay Good said only quarterback with experience currently is Strotter. He said that we know of. And I'm not gonna lie, that ain't saying too much, but honestly, from what I'm seeing, I mean, you don't know how a guy is gonna play because they could do whatever they want on film, but seeing them actually in person is the real test. So, but just based on what I'm seeing on film, I'm no disrespect to Strada, but I think of the 4 incoming guys, I think 3 of them might be already ahead of him, in my personal opinion. Time to be men say I'm waiting on Adrian Crook to go off on, as Scotty say, pothole state. LOL. Yeah. Your boy Jay said the good thing this staff is they're not just trying to find a QB to say they found one. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Your boy J said the good thing about this staff is they're not just trying to find a QB to say they found one. They are trying to find one that fits the go-go offense. And see, that's the thing that I think a lot of these schools, when they get players out the portal, I think they just want players from bigger schools. Hey, just to say, hey, we got a guy from a bigger school. He really don't fit our scheme. He really don't fit our system. But we just won't get him to say we got him. No, They it seems as if they're really doing their due diligence. Your boy Jay said Jackson State had a all-conference lineman say he was coming back. Then a day later was at UTEP saying he's committed to them. LOL. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, we talk about this often on my brother Jared 11 Green channel. I really think at this point, like FBS schools, not too many of them, but even a few FCS schools, are schools that have from a finance standpoint, they have more finances at their disposal, have more resources, better facilities. I really think they really doing. I'm not gonna say a good job. I think they're doing a suck job at really stealing players from HBCUs at this point. So honestly, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he said he was coming back, but ain't no telling they probably slid in his DMs, whatever, and they got him up out of there. And that's unfortunate the way some of these schools moving. So that's why I don't blame schools like Southern and Grambling for moving in silence in terms of the way they move in it and trying to keep players under wraps. Your boy Jay, so it's definitely happening to everyone. Oh, without question. Without question. Adrian Crook said, Coach, that boy Kerry ran backwards through a field of corn. LOL. He says, yes, indeed. Boy, Crook, you a wild boy, Crook. Uh, Icy Bayou Kid, salute to you. He said, that one from Houston hurt. He could have been a starter. No, he could have been more than a starter. Icy Bayou Kid, he could have been the SWAC offensive player of the year, you know. And I mean, I don't know what his financial situation is. You know, I can't knock a kid for doing what's in his best interest and in the best interest of his family. But if his ultimate goal is to play, it's to start and to start, it's to play, to start and be successful. I'm not gonna lie, Southern was the place for him, in my personal opinion. I think had he come to Southern, I think he legitimately could have been in contention for being the SWAC offensive player of the year. But he go to Tulane, he might not even see the light of day. But even with that being said, I wish him well, but we'll see how things play out. I hope it work out for him, but I think coming to Southern would have been in his best interest. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, but the last individual that left Southern and went to a bigger school, uh, basically was like, hey, you don't know me, you don't know my family, you don't know my situation. And I'm like, bro, when I did all this, when I talk good about you ain't had nothing to say. But the one time I'm critical, you basically like, hey, you don't know me. So it is what it is. Andrew Crook said, these anchor grabbers uh, of Laxon State, a.k.a. the subsidiaries, line, yep, I know y'all here. Man, Crook is wild. He said, oh, Laxon State. I see Bayou Kids say, don't be surprised. Some of these players that in the portal coming back to their previous school, even on an FBS level. Yeah, I can see that because, I mean, a lot of times you think you jump in the portal. To me, unless people have really shown interest in you, I don't think it's in your best interest to jump in the portal just for the sake of jumping in the portal. I mean, unless you have suitors, unless you have schools that's really interested in you and you're going to have a soft place to land, I don't think it's always wise just to jump in the portal, just for the sake of jumping in the portal. You know, especially if you don't have no footage out there, you don't have real great game film, so on and so forth. Man, so a lot of times these kids be jumping in the portal, and some of these agents might be promising them something that they really not gonna get. So at the end of the day, hopefully these kids are getting wise counsel because, in many instances you get people that jump in the portal, and I hate to bring him up all the time, but Sean McCray, he jumped in the portal, instead of him just taking a position change at Southern, he tried to jump in the portal and he ended up getting stuck. So at the end of the day, hey, if you jump in the portal, be sure you have a soft place to land. Your boy Jay said, yeah, recruiting news was extremely loud before the Zion thing. Then everything got quiet after that. Now they're getting kids on visits quietly. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. and one thing I know I said about his situation, I can't be mad at him for doing what he did. But in many instances, individuals like Zion Chris, a lot of times they post offers to garner more attention from other schools. And, I feel like a small portion of it is, hey, I want to be courted. I want other schools to show interest. I think a small portion of it is clout chasing, but at the end of the day, you can't blame him for using his offers to drive interest from other schools up and doing what's in his own best interest. So it is what it is. Time to be men and say, there goes Crook. Yes, sir. You already know Crook. Jay Good say, where is a need to scavenge and take from the poor, though? He said, their fans say we're goodwill, but the coaches seem to love thrift shopping. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. A lot of these coaches from a higher level, from the FBS level, they talk a good game. I mean, just think about it, Jay Good. We're gonna take it outside of HBCU for a minute. Trinidad Chambers for Ole Miss. He won a national championship at a D2. Then he almost led Ole Miss to a national championship game. So at the end of the day, there's talent everywhere. You can find, real good players that's elite on the D3 level, the D2 level, wherever. So, in 2026, if a player is a blue chipper, an elite level dog, wherever he is, people are going to find him. So anytime they went and found Trinidad Chambers, there's gyms all over the SWAC, there's gyms all over the MEAC, there's gyms all over HBCU football, and these Power 4 and Power 5 programs have noticed it. I mean, that's why you got so many of these SWAC players jumping up to FBS schools. So at the end of the day, yeah, their fans might be saying it's goodwill, but at the end of the day, their coaches know what they're looking for. That's why they're poaching all of these players from HBCUs. So yeah, it sounds good, but nah, that ain't the real. Your boy JSU say, if you left Southern, I don't want you back. I don't want you to come back, LOL. No, I'm not gonna lie. I would agree with you when it comes to certain players, your boy Jay. But when we talk about players like Kelby Givens, who jumped in the pool at one point and came back, somebody like Herman Bristol III, who jumped in the portal and came back. Players like that, yeah, I want those guys back. Now, other players, nah. Like Bashawn McCray, hey, you jump in the portal, yeah, let him get stuck. No disrespect to him, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. But players like Kelby Givens, Herman Bristol III, no, Cats like that, I want them back. You know what I'm saying? Jay Good said, the portal is the gulag. Be careful. Oh, big facts. Big facts. Icy Bayou Kid said, at your boy J. Yep, especially that one that went to LSU. Oh, he talking about Traylon James. Yeah. Jamal Smith, 7705, salute to you. He said, yo, what up, Jags? And background GSU watchers. Yeah, y'all know they lurking, huh? Time to be men say a lot of them are chasing the bag now because they don't believe they are going to play on the next level. And that's the thing about it. I mean, back in the gap, they didn't have this type of money at players' disposal. But a lot of those guys back in the gap, we talk about cats like Mike Hayes, those guys rather play than just sit at the end of the bench and do whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if a player in 2026, if he really legitimately had that option, go to a bigger school and get a bag and sit at the end of the bench, or be an all-world player in the SWAC. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but I'd rather be an all-world player in the SWAC. That's just my personal opinion, you know what I'm saying? But I could be wrong. Icy Bayou Kid, he said, prime example is Hollywood Smothers and Cam Coleman going to Texas. Yeah. Yeah, big facts. Dang, I lost my spot. It skipped on me. Yeah, your boy JC. I never tell a kid to say no to money, but that money eventually runs out. If you aren't a starter or a high level backup, college athletes are going broke and bankrupt at 21. And that's the thing about it. You know, you get a bag, but you need to get an education and you need to know what to do with the money too. You know what I'm saying? Time to be men say the high school players are going to get hurt the most out of this transfer portal stuff. Yeah, I mean, even Tremaine Jackson, he was saying how basically it's going to be hard to win with a bunch of 18-year-old players. So I guess he was saying that's why a lot of teams get players out the portal. Jay Good said case by case scenario. Yeah, that is. That's definitely the case. Hold on 1 second, y'all. But Jay Good definitely right. It's definitely a case by case scenario. Adrian Crook said, if you ain't had water in a year, I don't want you back. Oh, he must be throwing that at Jackson State. He definitely talking about Jackson State. Uh, Jamal Smith said, Cook, you already know. I know. All right. Adrian Cook said, I don't want nothing that slept in the Jackson dorm room. Jamal Smith said, last year sitting on the bench for a bag. Yeah. Gonna regret that decision. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. My personal opinion, I'd rather start and be all world in the SWAC than sitting at the end of the bench getting a bag at an FBS school. That's just my personal opinion. Icy Bayou Kids said, sad part about it is most of them not going to invest in their money, but go on the spending spree. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Adrian Crook throwing shots at Christopher Dukes. uh, your boy Jay said the hard part about the portal is finding kids that fit the Southern culture. That was one of Dooley issues. he brought in players that didn't understand it. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every kid and every player is not built for playing in the SWAC. Some guys are a better fit for, you know, for PWIs, whether it's on the FBS level, Power 4, Power 5 school, and other players are a better fit for, a FCS PWI. But everybody does not fit in HBCU culture. And I'm gonna give you an example. I remember when I would go across town to take my practice test at LSU on their campus, right? At Southern at the time, you know, students come to school fresh, crispy, fly. You would have a nice collar shirt, a polo. You'd have some starched down jeans. You'd have a pair of J's, a pair of Air Max, pair of whatever kind of fresh Nike shoes you have. At Southern, you might have, a youngster smoking on a Black and Mild. But you go across town, guess what? These kids literally just roll right out the bed with some wrinkled up clothes, some pajamas on, whatever, and go to class literally just like that. And I'm like, dang, it's completely different on the other side of town. You know what I'm saying? You might have kids standing outside a Southern class, smoking a Black and Mild, but guess what? Across town, they were just smoking cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when it comes to a culture shock, it's definitely a culture shock for certain kids. And the irony is, at one point, I had already graduated from Southern, and I was taking classes at BRCC. BRCC was like a combination of Southern and LSU all rolled in one, and I'm like, dang. So from a culture shock perspective, some of those kids really just don't understand. Adrian Cook said everyone in Laxton have poo crumbs in their thumbs, even the males. Man, Adrian Cook is going hard on JSU. Like he said, Laxton State. Jamal Smith said, it's a new culture coming in. He said, we have a crap load of high school recruits. Yeah. And that's the thing about it, especially if you have success right out the gate. Just think about it. Jackson State won the SWAC championship one year. The next year, they would have run it up, and it was like a mass exodus for the transfer portal. So at the end of the day, coaches got to recruit year by year. And don't get me wrong, I think it's great if you could get guys that could come in and be like a Kelby Givens and stay in your program for 4 years and, be an All-American 2 or 3 times and dominate on your level. But you have to realize some of these guys, they come in and they excel right away. At some point, they might jump in the port and chase a bag. So at the end of the day, like recruiting has to constantly be on the up and up, But overall, I think at this point, I think Coach Falk, I think the coaching staff, I think they've done an excellent job. And like I said, I am thoroughly impressed with the way Coach Falk has, handled himself in the initial press conference in terms of coming to Southern. Not only the initial press conference, the way he's put together his staff, the way they've gone out and recruited. And like I said, even when it comes to the quarterback situation, I would rather have a very talented true freshman quarterback that really fits the system and fits in Southern University from a culture standpoint than having a guy that came from a FBS program and that really don't fit the system, that really doesn't fit Southern University from a culture standpoint. I mean, I would rather have, the incoming freshman that's really talented and that really could do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, your boy Jay SU said these new recruits are coming with it. He said they are fired up and ready to compete. So the holdovers better get ready. Yeah, I definitely hope so. Your boy Jay SU, my respect for Givens is out of this world. Because if Graves was my coach, I would not have stayed. No, from what I'm understanding, from the way people talk, like Graves is Kelvin Givens' uncle. So, that's my understanding. I could be wrong. I think a couple people done put it in the chat before. So I think Terrence Graves is Kelvin Givens' uncle, from my understanding. But I'm not gonna lie, that's one thing about it. One thing I have ultimate respect for him from the standpoint of, instead of him saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go to FBS school. I'm gonna get a bag, and I'm gonna sit at the end of the bench." I'd rather come back to Southern and try to do something special and be a legend at Southern, as opposed to just getting a bag and going to a bigger school and maybe being a specialist or sitting at the end of the bench or being a third down pass rusher or whatever. What up, Coach 7 Sports Team? Man, salute to Joseph David. Salute to your family. Glad you came through, dropped in. Adrian Cook said she loves the cult having a grab blank member, grab behind members only show, reach around, including Cook. What Cook you something else? Jamon Smith said McCoy will be a good fit for the go-go offense if he could pass. We need more than just a runner. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I really think Cameron McCoy is Bashawn McCray 2.0. And even though we won the Bayou Classic, he still was only 6 of 18. And don't get me wrong, 5 of those passes were timely, very good passes, but still in all, 6 of 18 is still 6 of 18 in terms of, completions to passes. And you're right, he'll be a perfect fit if he can actually pass the ball, but he struggles from a passing perspective. Joseph Davis said, just got a commitment from an old lineman from Portland State. Yeah, your boy Jay brought that up earlier. Your boy Jay said, what's going to play a huge difference is us having a GM and a head coach and not a head coach playing both roles. He said, Coach CJ Johnson is definitely going to be a huge part in this. Yeah, I mean, having an experienced coach with his type of experience, man, I'm not gonna lie, that I think that's gonna help Coach Falk mightily with him being a first time head coach. Man, salute to the sister Fierce 5304. Salute to you, Queen. She said we only have 25,000 or 50,000 to offer these young men. He said, "Pete up your eyes, give them 300,000 to sit on the bench." She said, "We're defeated because families are hungry for the money. Who we got will be dedicated." Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I think Kelby Givens is a perfect example of that. He really could have, he could have went to a bigger school. He could have got him a bag. But the fact that he decided to come back to Southern and really tried to do something his senior year, that speaks volumes of him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna really try to get that extra year eligibility, or he looking to try to go to the NFL or the next level or whatever, or he's just ready to start his life and he's done with football. I don't know, but you know, if he's within the sound of my voice, man, mad props to Kelby Givens. Kelby Givens was that dude, you know what I'm saying? Jamal Smith said Graves was resting both years at the point of head coach. Adrian Crook said Graves should get a job at a chicken shop. Yes, indeed. Man, salute to T. Leathers. 1906, salute to your family. He said, salute, coach. Man, salute. Salute to you, bro. Glad you dropped in. Adrian Crook said, he's in the portal, thank goodness. Let's see. Your boy Jay said, I will forever say that clip of Graves on the Carlos Brown show saying he was resting during recruiting season makes me so mad to this day. To this day. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he was tripping, you know what I'm saying? Nathaniel Frank said, I heard Southern men's and ladies basketball team put it on GSU tonight. Yeah, I saw it on one of the Facebook groups. I don't know if it was Roughing the Swag, Swagging the Fool, Swag Beef, Swag Sports Talk. One of these Swag Facebook groups I'm in, they did show the final score in Southern men and women beat GSU. So major shout out to Southern University men's basketball team, Southern University women's basketball team. Major shout out to Kevin Johnson. Major shout out to Carlos Funches. You know, both coaches doing their thing. Yeah, they did. They both got dubs. Icy Bayou Kid 225. He said fierce. He said Prime said he wants certain recruits. He don't want no player from a single mom household. Yeah, no, from what I'm understanding, I think he said he wanted players from single mom households. I don't think he wanted players from two-parent households. Because he felt like the players from the single mom households had more dog in them, you know. And I'm like, look, hey, if you could ball, you could ball. I mean, I don't care if you come from a single parent household and you feel like the kid's starving, or he come from a two-parent household. To me, if you a baller, you a baller. You know, that's my personal opinion. Uh, your boy G said Southern men's and women dominated Grambling that day. Yeah, I, that's what I saw. In fact, they actually posted some of the game clips to one of these swag Facebook groups. So yeah, they definitely dominated, you know. D Black 03, man, salute to your family. He said Graves used Dooley's talent in 2024 and dug in his behind in 2025. Yeah. Joseph Davis said, it looks like roster will be flipped by 60% or greater. That's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, you didn't just want stand pat with a team that was historically bad. I mean, you want to try to flip some of the roster. You want to bring in players that fit your scheme and fit your system. You definitely want to improve the offensive line. You want to improve the defensive line. Definitely want to improve the defense because this was a historically bad Southern University defense. In addition to that, you want to bring in, a very good kicker, very good punter, an excellent punt and kick returner, and you definitely need your elite level quarterback. I think all of these things are coming in due time. So I think overall, thus far, Coach Falk has done a great job. But like I say, it needs to transfer over in September and October and November and December. It actually needs to be able to pay dividends on the field. And I believe it will. Jamal Smith said, this the most recruiting I've seen in years. He said, this blank, so refreshing. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Coach Falk coming in and the way he's come in, the way he's put together his staff, I'm not going to lie, it's definitely refreshing. And it just seems like the sky's the limit for Southern University's football program. No limit, no limit, no limits, no ceilings, no walls, no none of that. Adrian Crook said swag beef. Okay, all right. That's what it was in, swag beef. Adrian Crook said, we Graham Daddy. Oh, big facts. You know, dominating them in the Bayou Classic, dominating them on the basketball court. Yeah, big facts. Uh, Time to Beat Men say back in the day, we wanted to play for SU because of the love of the school and the love of the family. He said, man, those days are gone. Yeah, I talked about it in my last live stream from the standpoint of how we talk about how tradition, history, legacy, all of those things really don't, factor in the kids' decisions now to come to Southern, to go to other HBCUs. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I talked about my personal experience from the standpoint of senior wanted to go to Southern, but my grandmother told him he need to walk to the head of that street out there. He need to get on that bus and he need to go to Thibodeau and go to Nickel State, which he hated. My mom went to Southern. My dad spent a lot of time going to see my mom at Southern. My mom graduated from Southern. I graduated from Southern. No, my mom graduated from Southern. I had aunts that graduated from Southern. Besides my mom, I had other aunts that graduated from Southern. So a couple of my aunties graduated from Southern. I graduated from Southern. I had first cousins graduated from Southern. My sister graduated from Southern. My niece attended Southern. So I had multiple family members that actually both attended and graduated from Southern University. And like I said in one of these previous live streams, if the law said the same, I'll meet my next wife at Southern also. So Southern University definitely, from a history, legacy, and tradition standpoint, is huge in my family. And I know the same is true for a lot of individuals that's currently in the chat of this live stream. So at the end of the day, Southern University is but history, tradition, and legacy. So that's why instead of me just putting Coach 67 Sports TV, it's my name for these live streams. That's why I always put something like Black Excellence, whether it's Black Excellence or Mr. Amazing, Mr. Phenomenal. You know, I just try to speak life and hope into myself, and not only that, but I always try to shine a positive light on Southern University and other HBCUs just in general. Icy Bayou Kids say, all I know that online gonna be fighting for their job. Yeah, no, he said all I know is the O line. All right, O line, O line, O line. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The offensive line play left a lot to be desired. Uh, so yeah, the O line play left a lot to be desired. So yeah, the O line gonna be fighting for jobs. The quarterback position. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of turnover from a defensive standpoint because, for the most part, I think the only individuals that's coming back that had experience on the defense was Herman Bristol III and Eric Reed Jr., who was out, I think, just about, if I'm not mistaken, the entire season. So other than that, for the most part, like you're gonna have a completely new defense anyway. Uh, Andrew Crooksey, he hit Graham raw with a condom on the dresser. Yeah, we hit him raw. Jamal Smith says Southern need a whole new system and get some young blood in office. He said people still living in the 90s. I'm not gonna lie. You know, Jay Good and I talk about that behind the scenes constantly and often. We always talk about how Southern University needs more forward thinking individuals, from a perspective of ideas and so on and so forth. That's why, I talk about that's why I talk about Tony Clayton recently in terms of some of the ideas, in terms of, naming rights for A.W. Mumford Stadium and Felton G. Clark Activity Center. And for individuals getting a tailgate parking pass that they actually have to buy 2 season tickets. And Southern University needs to be cashless. And somebody pointed this out in the comment section after the live stream was over. He was saying, hey, if y'all want Southern University to be cashless, like the cell service and the Wi-Fi and all of that needs to be much better around campus. That was an excellent point. But in terms of, going cashless to the standpoint of you really can't, you know, skim money off the top or whatever the case may be. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people stealing it. I'm just saying uh when I was in EBR, that was one of the reasons why for these different sporting events and these different functions, it was everything was cashless. You couldn't say, "Hey, I'm gonna pay $20 to get on campus for parking or whatever the case may be." No, a lot of these, even the middle schools, different middle schools I go to, being an administrator now, guess what? All of that's cashless. So you're definitely right from the standpoint of there needs to be more forward thinking individuals when it comes to in positions of power at Southern University. Just working around Southern University's campus as a whole, because there's too many people, like you said, are stuck in the '90s and have an old fashioned way of doing things. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised when it comes to certain departments at Southern. Hey, you even have like computers. I'm surprised people don't still have like files in their office with filing cabinets and things of that nature. So yeah, you definitely need to have forward-thinking individuals that want to push the university and the institution forward. Not just Southern University's Baton Rouge campus, but the law school, School of Business, uh, and all the different campuses. SUNO, Southern University, Shreveport. Southern University is a system as a whole. You need individuals forward thinking and pushing the program forward and the institution forward. He said, "Coach, you ever took a bath in lead?" V does. Well, Cook, you are going hard. He said, "Lead infused tigers." Uh, Adrian Cook said, "Y'all gonna come out of hiding?" He talking about the laxing state of the laxing state fans, like he said. Your boy J said almost 30 commits and signing day isn't even here yet. Grace barely could get 15 commits. But like you said, he wasn't going out there. He wasn't recruiting hard, and he wasn't going hard. Tyler B. Men said, "I went to SU. Mom went to SU. Dad went to Grambling. That is on the Doug Williams side." Okay, okay, okay. I say, "Bayou kids say, Adrian, we gotta be careful what we say about thee." He said, "They fans already try to take one page out on YouTube." And he talking about Scotty off script. Adrian Crook said, "Icy, they were screaming my name to these all facts." Hello. He said they were screaming his name. They were screaming his name too. Yes, indeed. Time to be men said, "I have a daughter that went to SU, Chauncey Hogan, and I went on the yard together." All right, all right. Adrian Cook said, "One of the best lawyers seen my article and like it. I'm good. I'm not lying." LOL. I'm not gonna lie. Adrian Cook is always mashing the gas on the. Uh, Icy Bayou Kid said, "All he did was give that man a dream job at Alabama A&M University." He said, "Now he moving to Huntsville." Yes, indeed. Time to be men say they do not need to be cashless. He said, "I work in IT and SU IT department sucks." He said, "I love my school, but IT is not it, bro." Oh, I definitely can see that. But this is the thing about it though, time to be men. If these different little middle schools that I go to, if they're cashless, then I know Southern IT department sucks and Southern University's their cell service around campus sucks, especially with events that's very crowded, like homecoming, like when Jackson State comes to AW, like when Alcorn State comes to AW. when certain teams around the SWAC come to AW, like it is chaos from the standpoint of there's no cell service. And that's the thing that always gets me. Like, I could be sitting in AW, Southern playing their home game, but yet I got somebody sitting in front of me and they watching on their phone the LSU play against a SEC team. And I'm like, how? Like, I struggle if I don't download my tickets and put them in my Apple Wallet before I go to the game. If I gotta pull it up and get it out of my email, man, hey, I'm gonna struggle. So the Wi-Fi definitely needs to be better around AW and around campus. The cell service needs to be way, way better. And I understand what you're saying from an IT department standpoint, but Southern need to step it up from an IT standpoint. That's no excuse at this point. So yeah, so that cashless thing, yeah, they're gonna need to fix that. Uh your boy JC, I hope Cam Jefferson comes back at wide receiver. He said that dude the truth, even with the lack of targets and bad QB play. Yeah. Time to be Mincy. They hit Scotty low, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if he was slandering King Clark in the KC 1400, yeah, I think that would be one thing. But from him, talking about it from his point of view, his perspective, I mean, I don't see what the big deal was. But I mean, it is what it is. Icy Bayou Kid 225 said, he said, time that one reason why I'm not at SU now. He said they don't have a cybersecurity uh, program there. Okay. Adrian Crook said, time to be men. He said, then get y'all stuff together. Okay. DC plug, SU, Jag, salute. He said, Scotty on YouTube part time now. He got hired at Alabama A&M as the athletic media team director. Yeah, basically we mentioned that earlier. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Jay Goody, my brother Jay Good said, improving the infrastructure for that has to be a priority. He said, getting up to speed with modern times. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, cell service around campus. I mean, I don't think it's bad just in general, but anytime you have a big event, especially when Jackson State comes to A.W. Mumford, or Alcorn State comes to A.W. Mumford, don't talk about homecoming. Oh my goodness. So for those events, not only is the cell service bad, but in addition to the cell service being bad, the Wi-Fi is terrible also. And the crazy thing about it, even when I graduated from Southern, I remember I graduated from Southern and I was trying to call family members to meet them around like the Philip G. Clark Activity Center. And you couldn't even make a call, you know? And in all actuality, at times it's kind of the same way for like homecoming when you trying to enter AW. So yeah, so the infrastructure definitely needs to be in place and they need to get everything up to speed. Adrian Cook said, time to be men say Falk Mike, tell Tony, y'all need to go. You know what that means, LOL joking. Yeah, let's see. Uh, time to be men say, Cook, I don't work for them. He said, I work for the state of Louisiana downtown. Oh, all right, all right, all right. Uh, your boy JC, if SU beat Jackson this fall, we all getting banged. LOL. They are extremely sensitive. And that's the thing about it, bro. One of these recent live streams, man, I had somebody all up in the comment section talking about, hey, y'all don't need to be speaking on Jackson State. Woo, woo, woo. I'm like, y'all do realize Jackson State, was talking trash in all these different Facebook groups and across multiple social media platforms. So, when Jackson State talking about Southern and the players committing to Southern and the recruits and all of that type of thing, it's all good. But when all the members of Jaguar Nation that's in the comment section, in the chat during the live stream, and myself say something back, it's problematic. Like, I'm like, come on, man, that's extremely hypocritical. I see how you kids say, if SU win, I'm getting banned on X for sure. uh, DC plug, no, DC P SU Jag said, didn't Southern put a mobile tower from AT&T outside of Mumford? I don't know, but I know, guess what? Not this. I don't think it was this season. I think it was the previous season. I kid you not, I had two different cell phone providers. One was AT&T and one was Verizon / Straight Talk. And I still had issues. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see by you kid, he said might get docs from Facebook if SU beat J Stink. Yeah. Adrian Cook said, Jay, screw 'em, come to Rough in the Swag 2.0 LOL. Yeah, hey, of course I got the link pinned at the top of the comment section of our own Southern University Facebook group. So like he said, don't worry, but then we got our own Facebook group, you know what I'm saying? Time to be man, he said, they don't. And I tried to push them to get one. He said BRCC beat SU to the punch and now has cybersecurity degree. Woo! Dang. Time to be man. That's crazy. But SU definitely need to get a cybersecurity degree. Not only that, anything in cybersecurity. And if it's at BRCC, if it's a associate's degree, man, hey, bro, that's a problem for SU. I mean, so SU definitely needs to get something, cybersecurity, whatever, something along them lines. That's crazy. Time to be man. Hey, that is, whoo, just letting that sink in. Because in fact, they had a graduate program for y'all that done seen episodes of Bayou Sports Talk, with my cousin Ray Swain 225. Like he graduated in, you know, I think some type of computer science, computer engineering or whatever. And they had a grad program, but he said Southern no longer has it or whatever. So I mean it is what it is. Uh DCP SU Jag said, homecoming, you get your text message 12 hours later. Oh no, I'm not gonna lie. I hate that. I hear that you are 100% accurate for homecoming. Man, I wouldn't even lie. Like I had text messages that I had sent that wouldn't even go through for homecoming. And stuff, messages and stuff didn't get, like you said, I didn't get them until I drove off of campus and, I'm on my way home and I'm like, man, this is crazy. He said, Coach, they act like they don't do that. They victims. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stand that whole victim mindset and victim mentality. Like, don't talk trash to me. And when I talk back to you, you act like it's a problem. Nah, hey, keep that same energy. Your boy Jay say Jackson State fans post our commits before weekend. And that's the thing about it. When you get people like Adrian Crook, you know, in different Facebook groups, or even in the live stream, getting on them They like, oh man, whatever, whatever. So I mean, like it is what it is. Time to be messy, like Perry White said, LGSU. He said, I hate them for real, for real. uh, your boy JC, when we didn't get Zion, they laughed at us, saying we can't. Our best FBS schools, but when their own player turned them down to go to UTEP, they're mad. Yeah, and not only that, but when Adrian Cook was constantly getting on them about a lot of these players that TC Taylor bring in, like have a lack of game film, and they might be coming from bigger schools, but what type of game film, what type of footage they have, and he was giving them a lot of pushback for that. Oh man, that was a problem. They was basically saying, hey, Crook hating and this, that, and the third. He was like, no, I'm just keeping it a buck. I see Bayou kids say, hate to get political, but JSU fans is just like MAGA. Yeah. Adrian Crook said, FBRCC like everyone else in Louisiana. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Somebody asked me, because at one point I was gonna go to BRCC after I had already had a degree at Southern. But recently somebody was asking me to go to BRCC to get something. I said, why go back and get another little, associate's degree in this when I could just go to Southern and get, go to a graduate program. So I talked to the lady in the education department. She was like, well, we only accept people during the summer. So, I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, I want to get in the ASAP, but it is what it is. I say Bayou Kid, he said, even my school, LSUA just got one, which I'm a part of. All right. Now, this is my only thing about some of them cybersecurity programs. I mean, if you could guarantee me a 6-figure job and I don't have to do a bunch of coding, this, that, and the third, yeah, I mean, that's cool. I'll be with it. But, man, a lot of these schools, they be making, like, ridiculous promises, so on and so forth, and they really not able to follow through with it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Icy Bayou Kid, he said, I stayed at BRCC way too long. Yeah, I can see that. Adrian Crook said, Icy FLSU. LOL. He said, but I'm just good at matching energy. LOL. He said, Coach, who was the best SU team to not win a championship? He said, I always say it was the 2016 team that had Austin Howard, Lenore Tillery, and Willie Quinn. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That team with Willie Quinn, Austin Howard, and Mike Jones. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, that team that was loaded. You had Mike Jones is the deep threat. And then in addition to that, you have Mike Jones that could take the top off of defense. You had Willie Quinn making a lot of plays underneath. And then after that, you just was explosive on offense. But, I know one year they lost to Grambling. That Grambling team had they had Devontae Kincaid. And then another year, uh, they ended up making it to the SWAC championship, but they lost to Alcorn State. But I'm not gonna lie, but those were some loaded Southern teams. And then of course, on top of that, I don't lie, that Bryant Lee team his senior year, where they took Warren Matthews from being a backup quarterback to being a starting tight end. I don't lie, I felt like that team could have won the SWAC championship, but I felt like Pete Richardson, even though he's a legend, the dean of the SWAC, I felt like he was in the twilight of his career. Had he been in his prime, that same team, I think when PV came to AW, they would have beat that team when Pete Richardson was in his prime. Then they'd have went on to beat Grambling, and they'd have won the SWAC championship. That's all they do is win them last two games. But that was PV's last game. and Henry Frazier the third, he brought PV to Southern, and they came to AW. That was on a Thursday night. They won that game, and that was pretty much it for Coach Richardson after that. Agent Crook said that Franklin gotta go. Man, hey, I ain't got to the wrenches yet, Crook, but my brother Jared 11 Green is supposed to be walking me through it. But I see what you're saying. Adrian Crook said, the standard OG not washing y'all behind. Well, you something else, Crook. Time to be man. He said, Crook, why you mad at BRCC? LOL. He said, it's not their fault. They like the Jeffersons moving on up. He said, go in the SOC analytics. You won't have to code. That's the blue team defense and cybersecurity. All right, time to be man. Is it a six-figure job coming out of that? I mean, hey, if it's a six-figure job, I consider it. But instead of going to BRCC and getting, their associates, I just might as well go to Southern and get my master's in air leadership during the summer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is. I used to buy your kid. He said, lead back, then barely could be FAMU. Time to be men. He said, I think the beat offensive coordinator we had was Oliver, and he left. I'm not gonna lie. David Oliver really didn't move me like that. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Some people might have said, nah, coach, I think it was a reach. I'd have preferred Pete Richardson when he got Eric Randall made him the offensive coordinator as opposed to going to get David Oliver from Tulane. Truthfully speaking, some people might say I'm tripping, but at the end of the day, I really didn't see no huge difference between Mark Orlando and David Oliver to begin with anyway. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but it is what it is. Franklin Case said, Agent Crook, I just defended you on She Loved the Show. All right. Time to be men said, yes, sir. Six figure? Oh, all right. Hey, I don't know. I'm still going to Southern to get my master's in ed leadership. So, yeah, maybe after the fact. I don't know. Icy Bayou Kid, he said, if y'all get that degree, gotta move out of Louisiana. He said, go to a city like Houston. Oh, all right. Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I mean, I'm pretty much I'm SU through and through. I'm South Louisiana through and through. If I had to move to H-Town, no knock against H-Town, but it is what it is. Time to be men say SU don't have it. Well, I know SU got a master's degree in ad leadership, so I think I'm gonna just focus on that. Maybe cybersecurity be a backup plan. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Agent Crook said, "My bad, Franklin. Good with me, my boy. All right. Uh, Jay Good said, LOL. He in line, leaving the booth. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Hey, if I leave Louisiana to get it, I won't be to get my six figures right here. You know what I'm saying? Agent Crook said, Franklin K, I owe you a bill. Dang, it's almost midnight already. Oh man, all right. So I'm about to shut it down a little bit. Uh, Icy Bayou Kid say SU sister programs might. All right. Uh, Time to be many said Icy Bayou Kid. He said, "Nah, that's the truth, straight up." All right. Your boy Jay said, "Coach, would you want a backup FCS quarterback with potential, FCS quarterback who was a starter?" I'm not gonna lie. It depends on how much potential, but I think I would rather the FCS quarterback who was a starter, in my personal opinion. But if we talking about Devontae Kincaid type potential, yeah, I'll probably take the FBS guy. But if an FCS guy, he a proven starter, yeah, I'll prefer that. Time to be man, he said that's wrong on that was a but the Mark Orlando comment. Oh, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Derek Banks said 10 degrees in Liberty, Missouri. Woo! No, I can handle that. Hey, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the 41 right now. You know what I'm saying? Franklin said, Casey, I appreciate that, Mr. Crook. All right, all right. But I'm getting ready to shut the live stream now. I didn't even realize it was almost midnight. That go to show you how, you know, once I go live in the comment section, get the cranking it up, doing their thing, how time just flies. But I appreciate everybody that came through. We chopped it up for Southern University football. Southern University is an institution. Southern University is a program. Southern University degrees versus, other institutions. But tomorrow we're gonna be on my brother channel, Jared 11 Green, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Southern Baller Show. I appreciate everybody that came through, showed love. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. My brother Jay Good said, give me that guy that's better fit for the go-go offense, whoever that may be. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a major component in it also, you know what I'm saying? But I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings to the family. And go Jags, you did.